have OG underperformed? I don't think so. I think they had a hard part of the bracket, and if they win this, they're obviously secure top 8. I think that's around where I would place OG in the power ranking of this tournament right now. And for Mineski, have they overperformed? Maybe based on, compared to the expectations of myself, yes. But now that I've seen their games throughout the tournament, I think if they keep that level of performance, not reaching top 8 for them is the disappointment, actually.
Okay, well, it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes down. Straight away, OG will be able to deward the Observer that was just popped down here in the Radiant Jungle by Mineski. And in terms of lanes coming out from both teams, I guess we're going to see pretty much what we expect. One thing to note, of course, the fact that Mineski are running both the Spirit Breaker and the Darkseer, so I guess we're going to see a very active Spirit Breaker moving around the map.
Absolutely. They definitely... I don't want to say they kind of stole VP's strategy, but there's some clear indications that they might have been a little bit inspired by what Pro did play yesterday. I'm mainly thinking about the Lina pickup together with the Spirit Breaker that they had great success with against Vici Gaming, obviously. VP did lose the series 2-1, but they showed some really good form and showed what this combo can do. And for me, it's probably just Mineski looking to shut down Miracle as much as possible.
Indeed, and in terms of the lane, so it does look like OG, they realized the fact that it's going to be the Darkseer, maybe joined for the most part by the Spirit Breaker up top. So they're going to put, for the time being, Big Daddy on the bottom lane on this Gyrocopter.
Yeah, I think the laning from OG here is very, very good. Gyro plus Bane should very easily beat out this Ember Spirit. I don't think this is the lanes that Mineski were expecting. The Darkseer is going to be very happy. He gets a one-on-one against Slaughter. That's like a dream lane. But they have to adjust to help out Cuckoo in this bottom lane.
Yeah, and well, mid lane we're going to see a charging from Jesse Vash. He was looking to try and get the block off, but in fact with the Arctic burn slow, he's looking to move in and they'll get themselves first blood. They're Raging Potato. At the same time, OG did get the kill bottom, but just not quick enough to get the first blood as Mineski, they're through the door first.
Yeah, this is a great start for Mineski. They already have a lane matchup in the mid that favors the Lina in the beginning. But of course, with all the help he's getting from Crit, I think Miracle is going to be just fine even with this first death. The bottom lane is a different story, though. Yeah, Cuckoo is getting
he's not having a great time
absolutely destroyed. He has to fully respect this lane. I'm actually surprised he got killed without Bane skilling the Nightmare. He just let No-Tail run in at him with Rocket Barrage, and he took a Brain Sap and ended up dying. And looks like they're okay with sacrificing him for now. No help in sight.
No, they're keeping the lanes they are, keeping the Wyvern towards the mid lane. Jules, of course, just trying to help Raging Potato continue to have that edge against the SF. Top lane, Jesse just giving some harassment here to Moon. He did come prepared for this, came to lane with 8 tangos and a salve, so very much ready for the aggression that Mineski are going to be throwing at that Slaughter on the top lane. And it looks like potentially we're going to see the Spirit Breaker start to move back towards mid. He's going to look for that 2-minute rune, potentially hope for something like an Invis, something that's going to allow him to get in close and set something up. But 10 for 1, 9 for 1, so regardless of the fact that they did lose someone in the mid lane, Miracle's SF is still looking pretty good in comparison.
I'm just looking at this bottom lane. I'm like, Mineski, what are you going to do about this? You can't just keep letting this happen. The Emperor Spirit is going to be horrible. This hero is so momentum driven. Top lane,
yep, they try and go in. We saw me try to go for the crush to catch the charge. Wasn't there in time. Now the crush comes through. And they're going to try and chase this over. And Moon, right, he's got to be careful here. Bringing Jesse Vash fairly low. Right, he hasn't managed to get the shell on himself at the moment, just on the creep. And meanwhile, in the jungle, Fly coming in close and personal to Jules and Cuckoo. Cuckoo's actually resorted to trying to farm a camp here with the level 1 Flame Guard, realizing that he just can't get anything in lane, but this is not the way you want to be playing an Ember Spirit, Sid.
No, it really isn't. Level 1 Flame Guard is actually really bad as well.
And Fly's just stealing the CS. I mean, it's just... he might want to get himself away now, but he did manage to take a bit of that from Cuckoo.
He has boots first. So
there we go. Was that Ember's first CS? Oh, it was his second one.
He's got 2.
He's got 2. Nice.
Currently sitting on...
Not all bad, but the majority of it, and now he's going to try and do the Ancient
He has
Sin.
the lowest GPM in the game.
Where's he off to now? They're switching lanes up. Do you agree with this? Cuckoo's making the long walk up to top, but he is going to be up against a level 4 Slardar whilst he is level 1 Ember Spirit.
I don't know. I think it's just a bit too late. I was saying that 3 minutes into the game, but he can't win this lane on his own, so they're going to have to help him out with I don't know if the Darkseer is the right choice. Maybe you put the Wyvern up there and you play Darkseer Spiritbreaker bottom, but they can't beat the Gyro either. That's why this was a really good pick out from OG.
I mean, Moon's just running down. Cookie says level 1 Ember Spirit. Yes, please, I'll try for some of that. Cookie's been surged up. Moon's trying to find his way around, and I think he should be able to get this. Okay, the shell might be enough to force him off. There's a charge coming in, and maybe Moon's bit off a bit more than he can chew. They'll actually get the steering change, and this will help out Cuckoo a lot if he gets involved in that, and they will. They do get the kill on Moon. They're able to punish his greed there as he was kind of baited in by that very, very tasty-looking Ember.
That's the most important kill of the game.
Yeah, and now he's straight up to level 3 now in this Ember Spirit, so that's really helped Cuckoo.
Cuckoo's going to be very thankful that he gets to play Dota now. Because honestly, he's been playing AFK Simulator until this point. So minute 4, almost level 4, right?
Yeah.
It could have been way
Big
worse.
step up.
He actually has 800 gold to use, and he's buying boots and a town portal. He misclicked in that fight and used town portal instead of the salve, but fortunately for him, didn't end up getting him killed. And the mid lane, I want to point out how far behind Miracle actually is on levels.
Spiritbreaker tried for a charge, but there was a lean there, so Crit cancels the charge to telekinesis. Raging Potato moving in onto Miracle. Miracle's got the bold charges.
5 mana short from the Laguna.
Oh, meanwhile, okay, top lane, there was a revenge kill as he got the kill on Ember Spirit, as well at the bottom lane. No-Tail trying to move in with Fly onto Jules. He's trying to juke this one out through the tree line. Actually gets the salve off as well, and I think he might just be able to do it. He's actually fogged them in. They're actually stuck in by the Radiant Creep, so OG can't get the kill onto the Wyvern, but top lane, Moon did actually manage to kill Cuckoo as he returned. Bottom is still continuing. There's a surge up from Ryo, seeing if they can chase anyone down. They've got 3 heroes here at the moment. They actually sent the Ember back to the bottom lane. So Ember, he's been going global, up to the top lane, down to the bottom lane, just trying to desperately find farm wherever there's an opening. And it's not going to be too easy against these two, but this time he does have support.
Yeah, I don't think OG are aware of what they're getting themselves into here.
And here we go, Brain Stab onto Cuckoo. He's got to get himself back. In fact, he ends up going down. Fly gets the kill there with the last right click. And OG are going to be all right. No-Tail salving up. There's still a charge coming in across the map. They're going to have the Ember back up in 10 seconds, and he can try and contribute and get himself down there, but No-Tail's already trying to move in. Pops the cooldown. Here's your charge from Jesse Vash. Do they have the damage there with the Darkseer and his shells to get a kill? But the Nightmare comes out holding the breaker back, and No-Tail and Fly will simply walk this one off.
All right, looks like Cuckoo was the one who didn't know what he was getting himself into. I saw the charge coming across, and I was like, okay, this is going to be very, very good for Mineski if OG's still around. But then they engaged a good 10 seconds before the charge even reached, and Cuckoo just... He's probably not used to being in this position at 6 minutes, and he just has to play kind of as if he's a support in these engages, be a little bit more patient and not get himself out of position. So he's just really not tanky even with Flame Guard on.
Now this is not going to be a nice lane for him sticking. Moon's level 7. Moves him with the crush. Look at this physical damage. Half of his health gone. He needs 1 bash. Is he going to be able to find it? In fact, he might not even need a bash here. Moon's just going to move in. 1 more slap to the back will do, and he gets the kill on the Ember Spirit. No help there for Cuckoo as he goes down, and this time we're seeing him not having a good time up top. The charge was coming through, but Jesse Vash must be careful. Bane is there if they can look for a setup. In fact, he's just going to stand there, take a crush to the face as Moon moves in. The Brains start bringing him down low, and they'll get themselves another kill up top. Mineski just feeding OG here on the top lane.
Yeah, I think they need to wake up at this point. Mineski are making a lot of mistakes that we wouldn't have seen yesterday. At least based on their game against Secret. They can play on a much higher level in this. On quite the contrary, OG are just playing super aggressive early on. They're taking big advantage of the potential they have in their lanes. Once again, looking at the Gyrocopter to really enable them to win the laning phase as much as they have. And the choice of putting Gyro plus Bane bottom has really paid off. The only hero on Mineski that's doing well is Raging Potato on the Lina. He's very farmed. He's beating out Miracle in the mid lane. But now Miracle is getting stacked, so he should be catching up.
Deep 5 for 2 at the moment. OG certainly with the firmer grip on this game. Ember Spirit still got a little bit of a way to really come back into this. He's managing to find some CS now that the Moon's actually backed off here. There's a bit of space for him. Moon actually may be moving towards another lane, seeing if he can find some kind of action. But Mineski, they've got 4 heroes towards the top of the river. Potentially looking for some action top. But there is, of course, this dire ward here from OG spotting all of this action out. So it's unlikely Mineski going to be able to make a jump on this, and Crit's got the safety to get the levels here in the mid lane as well. With the amount of vision that OG have got around that entire area,
this is
feeling very safe.
Very, very good rune to get on Gyrocopter right now. This should give No-Tail a solo kill if he times it right. I don't think he saw Vash there, actually.
Vash has got the charge.
Oh, he did. Rubik's pinging it out, at least.
They want to rather go for Raging Potato. You already said how he was doing the best this far. There we go. Cool down for the tree line, into the telekinesis. They move forward. They'll get themselves the kill. Moon was there as well, as we talked about him, setting himself up in the mid lane. And another very nice kill for OG. And that's the one at this point that matters, because as we can see, Lina is top of the net worth. And that's going to allow Miracle to get himself back on the top of the charts.
Man, this Ember. Oh, God. I don't know what they can do for Cuckoo right now. I think they have to set up some more stacks and let him have them instead of Lina. At this point, of course, you want Lina to farm the stacks and get a fast Yules, but this Ember is actually still not really a part of the game. He's third lowest on net worth after the laning stage. Now, finally, they decide to lane the Wyvern together with him to give him a little bit of safety. It just looks like it's too little, too late.
I'm seeing smokes come out from both sides now.
This is something that could help.
Yeah, if they can get themselves a pick off and have the Ember be involved. They do have that Laguna Blade, so if anyone tries to come in on the Ember, we'll see if they try and bait. But Miracle and Fly are there, so OG definitely have the potential to fight back hard. It's just going to be a question of how it kicks off. In fact, they're also being joined by Big Daddy. This could be a bad fight for Mineski straight away. Onto Raging. The Corner Brace has come out, but with the Fiend's Grip, holding Kuku in the cooldown. Coming on to 3. They're taking down 2, and now they're going to move in for more. They should be able to final 3 as Moon chases in, gets the crush on the Wyvern. 3 kills for OG. And Mineski did not want to be there. We talked about the smoke because said this could be the potential to turn, but OG were totally ready for that.
Yeah, they looked like they knew exactly what was going on, standing exactly where they did in this right of the tree line. Allows them to easily break the smoke as Lina is trying to wrap around and maybe find an opening. Mineski, man, everything is just falling apart 10 minutes in. This is a very, very big lead for OG, already 5,000 on the goal in a 10-minute game. And the hero that they can use to come back in the late game, Mineski. It's one thing if they're far behind on gold and you can be like, okay, sometimes we see teams come back from a 5k deficit at this point, or maybe 6, if they have a strong late gamer. Their strong late gamer is second to last now on the net worth. He's being out-farmed by the Spirit Breaker. This is very, very bad news for Mineski.
I mean, the only way, with an Ember Spirit, there's just not really a way to flash farm. The only way I guess you can bring him back in is by trying to finding engagements that he can get involved in. But we've already seen that Mineski are having a real hard time trying to do that.
He got his level 6 now, so of course can start looking for kills with Fire Remnant. But the other heroes are also far behind. I've been talking a lot about Ember because he's the one suffering the most, but it's not like the other heroes on Mineski are doing exceptionally well either. Wyvern is level 4, Breakers just cracked level 5, we're 11 minutes in and they're far off their ultimates. You look across the river and both the supports on OG are level 7. And
now there's a blink on the Slider. If things weren't going to get any worse for Mineski. If he just even smells that Ember, he's going to be straight on him. And a crush and a one bash, you're getting that kill regardless of whether he's got a remnant out or not.
This is such a big lead for OG right now that they should just be cruising toward victory. And it is very early to say that. We've only played 11 minutes of Dota, but they have a lineup on Dire that's great at taking Roshan. They have the mech, they have all the items they actually need and a level advantage. Mineski can't fight them at all right now. It's really that simple.
They're going to go for it. They find Potato, that's the one that they're going to want. And there we go, straight in with the crush. Amplifies down as well. Call out from Big Daddy, but he's already dead, the Lina. Now they're trying to move with Jules as well. Miracle coming forward. He'll Arctic Burn here up to the high ground. Jules trying to juke this out, but moves already there with the wraparound. Gets the crush onto the Wyvern. They'll bring down Jules as well. 2 more kills for OG. Now push down the middle tower. And it is not looking great. And now Fiend's Grip straight up from Fly to Cuckoo. They send Miracle in. He's looking for the Requiem. He's not actually going to cast it here, realizing that the timing wouldn't be there. Cuckoo was able to get out with the Remnant. But there is actually a Slardar coming round as well from OG. Moon hasn't quite got the mana for the crush. He might try and go. Oh, he's got the 1 charges. Should be enough. Cuckoo's actually going to go for the TP out. Here's Moon going to go in and find it. Not quite in time. A little bit hesitant there, Moon. So won't be able to stop the Ember getting back to base and refueling.
And here goes the tower as well. And I'm imagining OG will be looking for a sub 15 Roshan. I don't see why they wouldn't do it. Their team fight is way superior right now because Mineski are lacking key abilities. They don't have wall yet. They don't have. Oh, actually.
Oh, no, you're not getting out of here, Ryo. You're going to stay here with Karagan answer. No! Oh my goodness. Ryo.
Good creep wave.
I think his whole life flashed before his eyes there, Sin.
He got saved by the creep wave.
My goodness. That was a close
That was
call.
very, very close. Regardless, they force him back to base. I'm actually very surprised OG aren't just taking Roshan right now. Of course, it is a very important elimination game and you want to play it safe, but I think the safest play for them right now is going for that Roshan. They just need maybe a little bit more map control, just place one more good ward, and they secure themselves an even bigger lead with a Roshan catch.
And as well, Miracle's farm has stepped up absolutely massively. You look at the hero's net worth, he's now sitting a good 2.5k ahead of the leaner. And we saw for a large point, Raging Potato, he was doing all right. He was keeping himself on top, but after these fights and the Roche as well, that's almost imminently going to be going down to the side of OG, nothing that Mineski can do. And just look at the speed that this lineup takes it down in a game that's 14 minutes young.
Who had the overall first pick in this game?
Roshan has fallen to the down.
Good question, Sin. You're the analyst. You should know.
That has nothing
you're the guy
to do with that. All right, OG had the overall first pick, so they went for the Slaughter. It kind of surprises me that Mineski didn't go for Shadow Fiend on Radiant then, because that was the trade-off. They actually willingly gave away Shadow Fiend Slaughter on the Dire, and their trade-off was Darkseer Breaker in the first phase, so they're probably regretting that a little bit now that they don't have the potential to fight OG, but more than anything, I mean, you can talk as much about draft as you want. They're just getting super outplayed as well, and out-strategized in their laning.
I'll fly it towards the mid with crit. They'd love to try and find Cuckoo. There is some backup from Mineski, but straight with the telekinesis there. Sharinta's Curse onto Fly, locking him in place. They might be able to find the Bane. He'll drop out of Brain Sap. Nightmare himself, try and walk this off. Looking to get out with the charges. Wait with the crush. Oh, Fly! He's gonna live. Moon saves it with the crush. Holding Mineski back. Finally, the charge comes through. Jesse will finish off Fly, but they lose Cuckoo, and they're probably gonna lose Jesse as well as OG move in. Amplifies down. Look at these right clicks from Miracle. Looks like Beast back on the menu, boys, as the cow goes down. 2 more kills for OG. And again, trade after trade going the way of the Dire.
And they could probably start looking at these tier 2s as well. Gyrocopter starting to split push in the bottom lane. He's already stacking Ancients with his Helm of the Dominator pickup as well. And this is the most one-sided game of the main event we've seen so far, I think. I can't remember another game. There was a very short game in the group stage, I believe. But so far for OG, this is an absolute beatdown.
This is a bit reminiscent of kind of game 2 yesterday in the Mineski had against Secret, just being outclassed by their opponents. And, well, add chicken to the menu now as Jules, the frozen bird, will fall. 14 for 3, 16 minutes in. I mean, we talked about OG's draft. We knew that they were going to be very comfortable with the heroes, and they're pretty much all having the performances that you'd expect when they get these heroes.
Absolutely. Everyone on OG has been playing pretty much their A game. They've made very, very few mistakes. They're assessing their strengths very well, and why not?
Literally just crushing the opponents here, dominating for Miracle.
Mineski looks completely, like,
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
they look crushed. It's like they didn't recover from yesterday's loss. That was one thing I was worried about for them, which I also said pregame. I think they can definitely win against OG, but it really depends on whether they learned something from yesterday and if they can stay calm and collected. And so far, this is a different team than yesterday. I gotta be honest. Like, the drafting is worse. Their play so far has not been that good either. OG, on the other hand, they're playing maybe the best they have so far in the tournament, and it makes for a very, very one-sided game.
Rather deep here. He's got the Remnant back, but Moon, he's ready with it. He's there with the anticipation, hiding in the trees. New Wave Remnant 2, and they'll bring down the Ember Spirit. Once again, OG just one step, not just one step ahead, they're the whole goddamn staircase ahead of the side of Mineski at this point. It's looking not ideal for the Radiant, to say the least.
Could be better.
Miracle. Just gonna walk in, sees Lena, gives her a punch. Lena walks
And another.
And, oh, hello, Miracle. I mean, okay, Manchester Star, he's cool. He's got the mech, and he just walks it up. There is another strike there. Miracle, he does, of course, still have the Aegis. It might not even be pop. Moon kills the Darkseer. They're moving forward for more. Miracle doesn't lose the Aegis. He just walks back in here with the haste rune. There's your crush. There's your kill. Miracle now in a mega kill streak.
Yeah. This is...
Is under attack.
I mean,
Who do you think is going to win?
I'm no expert, Sid. And neither are you, in fact. But
Hey.
well,
Radiant's bottom tower.
I mean, at this point, Cinderin.
Radiant structures
What do you
are
say?
fortified.
If you were having a team talk now, say you could have a timeout and you said, right guys, what do you say to them to get them back in this one?
I mean, I'm no expert, so I don't know. What do you think? Honestly, this is the kind of game where Mineski just needs to go for a couple of YOLO smokes, and if it doesn't work, then they've lost. They know they're really far behind. I don't even know if they have smokes remaining. It doesn't look like it. They've used all of their smokes.
Like,
2-minute
2-minute cooldown.
You're pretty much out of options. You just need to play super safe until you get a smoke and try to find some sort of kill. Expecting OG to overextend in your base is not very likely. And even if they do, they have a lot of leeway. They can make a lot of mistakes. They even get lucky with a very fast Roshan spawn, obviously very much favoring OG here.
Right. Ember Spirit's nearly got his drums. He completed the drums. So he's found something. And they do have a little bit of a wombo. You know, there's the vacuum, the light strike, the winter's curse. So they've certainly got something that they can try and pull off, and looks like your team talk works in. They're going to go for exactly what you suggested, smoking up and moving directly towards the dire jungle. This is going to be pretty much all in or bust here for the side of Mineski. See if they can find that team fight, catch the side of OG off guard. But we've already seen before how well OG can react to this kind of aggression that Mineski were trying earlier on when they're in a little bit of a better position. Solar Crest has now in fact been picked up by Moon here on this slider. And,
interesting. This is very unusual. But it's just going to allow them to high ground.
Yeah.
You might
they
as well.
Can just pop it on the SF. Miracle can just sit there and hit the racks. Yep. And Mineski aren't going to be able to do anything about it.
Yeah. The most likely thing to happen right now is that OG will farm for another 2 minutes until they can get Roshan. They'll grab Roshan and Shadow Fiend, and then they'll go bottom and probably end the game. Mineski need an absolute miracle hold. The only chance I see for them to defend their base is this Darkseer getting a Blink Dagger and just catching OG very much off guard. But even then, who's gonna kill the Shadow Fiend twice is really the problem. He can go high ground siege alone with a crest on him. And the only really heavy single target Mineski has is the Lena's Laguna Blade, and you could argue to an extent Spirit Breaker, but he's level 8. They need to commit both their ultimates to just kill him the first time, then what do you do the next one?
Miracle with this DD, Moon as well. Raging Potato. And Cuckoo up here on the top lane. Here we go. OG's in love with the Cuckoo, and they'll take him down again. They get themselves another one onto the Ember Spirit. Raging Potato will be able to get himself out. No Tail with his Shadow Blade. He does love this item. We see him do it on the Tiny. He's doing it here on the Jarrett. And now backup's coming. There's your cooldown. It will get the slow onto Jules. Moon's anticipating a blink in, but doesn't want to go too ham at the moment. At 320 on the board here at the point.
And Miracle. He's now going to be pushing the top tier 2. There's no way Mineski defend this without their Ember Spirit.
Nah, they've got to wait to the high ground.
I actually I've got to commend the the Ember Spirit, as weird as this may sound. He's 0-8-2, but considering how exceptionally poor conditions he's had in this game, he still has 90 CS minute 20. And, you know, I can't imagine a worse game for Ember Spirit than this. He gets completely zoned out of lane. He's also counter-picked. He doesn't really get any support from his team. Every meant this game for this hero is out of it, and he's still actually trying and doing his best to keep up. So, pretty admirable here.
Roshan's going to be back up in 5 hit for the side of OG. And they'll surely look to go for the taking here. And they get wind of it. And what's Crit coming out in the curry? Anything tasty? I got just the TP. So he's working on the Agadims. Let's see if he's actually able to pick that up by the end of the game at this pace that OG are playing at. And this game could be over relatively shortly.
This aggressive ward they have actually did spot the Lina, and oh, now they spotted the Wyvern. This is a free kill. Bye-bye.
And straight in. Raging Potato will turn around, get the light strike. There is a shot.
Not a free kill.
And they get the Laguna onto Moon. Moon's going to fall. Change onto both Fly and Crit. They drop the ball here as well. Miracle, he's just waltzing around trying to clean up. They hold back Cuckoo with the telekinesis. Crit with the stolen flame guard will keep himself alive, but Cuckoo still finds the kill. It's the 2-for-1 at the moment for Mineski. This is potentially it. Light strikes to get whiffed though. They've got the charge. Fiend Script coming from Fly. Over the wall onto Raging Potato. Double kill for Miracle. They just can't kill this Shadow Fiend at the moment, and now they've got to run. Ryo gets taken down by No Tail there with the Gyrocopter. And even though that was pretty much the best fight that Mineski have had all game, it's still not a good one.
I think 3 for 2 exchange is incredibly good for them, given the circumstances here. And the reason that didn't work out as well for OG as you would have thought it would was that Slaughter was just too far ahead of his team. He did get the vision he wanted with the ward, and of course Blink crushed the Wyvern, but the time it took for the backup to arrive, they only had the crush and a brain sap before Wyvern was able to turn around and get a curse off. Just a little bit of extra burst there, and that's obviously a very easy kill, and OG just walk away with a 1-0. Instead 3-2. I don't think they're too worried about it. They should have a pretty good idea of what state this game's in right now. 20,000 goal lead. My guess is that teams who are ahead by this much at this time have like a 99% win rate. There might have been 1 or 2 comebacks. I think 20,000 lead at 20 minutes still has never lost, but we are 24 in, so it might be 1 game.
And OG, they're going to be able to get themselves Roshan. Once again, Miracle seeming to be the man who just consistently has double damage runes on this shadow feed.
It's high ground time, I think, for OG. I don't know if they're going to be a little bit worried after that last fight, but if you're looking at the reason why it went the way it did,
you reckon they've realized why?
They should have an easier time high grounding than what just happened in the previous fight, simply because they just had poor position when they engaged. And if they're all 5 gathered together at the bottom lane, it's not that difficult. Now Scotty as well in this gyrocopter. No-tail with a very unusual build here on that gyro.
He likes his Shadow Blades and he likes his Skadi. We seem to, especially on the heroes like the Ember Spirit, sometimes he goes for a similar build.
Yeah, Skadi is pretty common on gyro in some games, but Shadowblade is this particular build is very, very unusual. Getting these items together. Shadowblade is rare enough as it is, but then coupled with Skadi. I can still understand what the reasoning is for No-Tail here. He just wants to tank up with a Skadi and be very difficult to kill for the high ground siege. They know Mineski don't have enough damage in the tank. Their biggest threat is actually their own team if they get Winter's Cursed. Then the Shadow Fiend could be killing off his ally.
Miracle has now got the, there's a Lincoln spell on the courier and Pat. Well, Miracle, Alex is going to get full stuff back. He doesn't have the Aegis. Moon jumps in, but Amber will be able to remnant away straight out. Well, the Yule set up, the light strike's going to be a bit off target there. A little bit mistimed, and Miracle walks this off. So now with a Lincoln Sphere. And there we go, Singe, you're right with the stat. Never lost a professional Dota game with a 20k gold lead before 33.
Oh, wow, that's way later than I thought. All right, well, there's a first for everything, and it will not be this game, I think. I would have a lot more faith in Mineski if they had a better high ground and a stronger draft in general for this to counter OG out. I mean, they're going to need something incredible. I think they did some really good damage output on Miracle before. That surprised me a bit, but now that he has the Lincolns, they can't curse him. And if they do, or if they want to rather, they have to either block the charge first, or another strike, or Laguna Blade. Technically, you can also throw a Yours into him, but I think they're going to need that defensively against the Slaughter.
We go OG, clearing up the wave. At the same time, Mineski doing what they can to hold back this push, and up to the high ground they go. OG Cuckoo can even change onto Miracle. As you call down from No-Tail, just create the space to move forward. Moon jumps in. No-Tail continuing to just push onto the tier 3, out to the forward fortification. Jesse with a charge, he's going to hold it back here. As the Nightmare from Flycon 3. There's your vacuum on wall onto 2, catching Miracle and Moon. Raging throws down the light strike, but No-Tail's just doing so much damage at this point. He's taken down one, there'll be a buyback on the Lina. Moon looking for the crush, will get it on the Spirit Breaker. Homing this along to Cuckoo. Miracle looking for the Requiem from the sidelines, bringing Jesse down. There's 2 down at the moment, double kill for No-Tail. Trying to do what he can with the slap, but Cuckoo just doesn't have the damage. They'll lose the Ember Spirit as well. There's a buyback on Jesse, a buyback on Ember Spirit. They're looking to try and turn OG up fairly low at this point. Maybe they can try and find something. They get the chains onto Moon. Is it going to be enough to tick him down? Not quite. No. Moon lives on 15 HP, and they're out. They're out. OG, they're happy with what they've achieved. They force out the buybacks, and that's actually going to be it. Mineski called GG, and OG will take game 1. And what a performance, Sind. Mineski have got to do something entirely different game 2, surely.
They need a different first drafting phase, I think. This was not the opening that they should be looking for against OG. They gave them way too much laning power. They gave them all their comfort heroes, as the panel mentioned, and it's not that I don't think Mineski are comfortable with the picks they have. It just didn't.
Absolutely, and just their whole entire performance of OG